Well, a warm welcome back to Gordon Bennett TV. It's the first episode of this year, 2022, and I'm joined by the winners from last year, Swiss one, Frieden and Pascal Witprächtiger. I hope I got that pronunciation more or less correct. Thanks for joining us, guys. I really appreciate it. So first of all, can you give me a little recap of last year's event, that final day and your win? Just tell me a few details about it.
Yeah, the last year was a really nice race, not so easy because of the weather. We had to fly around a bad weather system, and the first 40 hours were very low winds, and then we started to fly southwesterly direction to France with 40, 50 kilometers per hour. Really fast and very good to drive, to fly, and at the end, the last day, we were only 2 balloons flying France 1 or France 2 or something like this, and we were a little bit surprised that they landed early in the morning because they had no ballast left, a lot of wind turbulences, and they were afraid to fly further. So the way was open for us to make the win, to easy to go flying a little further, and it was really nice to win this race. Yeah,
it was a spectacular finish. It really was on the edge of our seats with it. And because of that win, not only are we in Switzerland this year, we're going to return to Switzerland next year as well, 2023. Do we know the location yet for the following year?
Yeah, it will be in Sion in the southwest part of Switzerland. A little bit more in the Alps. It's actually a little bit more challenging, maybe start lifting off in the Alps, as we had it in, was it in Cap d'Ayar? We had a launch in a similar, it could be in a similar way.
Yes. Where
we may have to lift up to a higher altitude already at the beginning, but it's not guaranteed. It depends. So the Valley of Alice could be also a challenging part to go to Geneva in this direction. So certainly going to be an interesting location also to lift off.
Great, incredible. So let's talk a little bit about this year's race, your home ground, St. Gallen. Can you tell me a bit about it, what you know?
Yeah, St. Gallen is 10 kilometers away from my home. And it's a nice city, also in a little valley around
Lake of Constance.
Near Lake of Constance, yes, and near the Alps also in the south. There is the Sentis, and it's a really nice location when the wind goes to southwesterly winds goes to northeast. We can fly over the Lake Constance.
Wow,
would be really nice.
Beautiful. Do you know much about the launch location, the field?
Well, it's in the middle of the city. Yeah.
Middle of the city.
Middle of the city. Yeah.
Incredible. So in the town square or something like this.
It's in the middle of the town St. Gallen. And enough big for the 18 balloons, not bigger, but it's enough, should be okay. And yeah, we are happy to fly from the middle of a town. That's very nice.
And this year, with everything that's been happening with Ukraine and Russia, it adds a complication to the flight paths.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have any actual information in the moment, but I think that's certainly going to be an interesting part also in the pre-preparation, but also in the publication of the open countries, because I think even that they are maybe not part of that war, but all the countries very close there, they have some topics already, which probably will be quite some discussion. Is it then okay to fly into that country, or I mean, we don't know yet. I guess there are quite some discussions going on the airspace topics, but it's certainly another topic which we would not need really, but it's there, and we have to take it as it is when we lift off.
Have you flown together with the gas balloon this year?
Yes, 5 weeks ago we flew together, yeah, from Germany.
And any changes with the equipment from the last championships?
Not special, no.
No.
I think we have a good equipment, maybe some new batteries, and then we can fly.
Okay, excellent, excellent. Well, we're certainly looking forward to it. I mean, Kurt, for you, is this your 25th, 23rd Gordon Bennett, or is it your 24th?
24th should be around there, yes. Yeah.
And how many times have you been in a team together?
Yeah, 1992 was my first.
1992. What about you, Pascal?
Well, it's not that much yet, so we are getting close to the 10th. I mean, our first race was 2008, and I left out 2 races, so it's the 10th. Should be the 10th race then.
What's been the favorite for you two so far? I mean, obviously the win, of course, but which one sticks in your mind as being the most epic or adventurous?
I mean, 2010 is still quite a memory when we launched in Bristol, actually, and flew over to France and then over the Mediterranean Sea, over Italy with over 100 kilometers per hour, then crossing into the ex-Yugoslavian countries and then landing at the Black Sea. I mean, in this short time, it was only 58 hours. I mean, imagine that. It was really a fast flight, 58 hours, and we were already on the ground and just waiting what's happening. And then I think Willy came actually, so after 80 hours or something like this, he go more to the north and landed there close to Moldavia. So it was certainly a remarkable race. The other one, which also sticks in my mind, is always the one, as I said before, Cap d'Ayar, which was actually on the other side. That's the one race we were not on the podium, but we also decided that on purpose because of weather. That was the race when in the Alps already quite some thunderstorms were seen. And we decided to land before entering the Alps. So we landed in Como. Como really, really close to the beginning of the Alps. And the other ones, or quite a lot of teams took it over to the Alps and then had quite some strong landings. And I think we also had some damaged balloons. Wow. But for us, it was really special. It was not a long flight. And we were very close in Como. And I still remember that we were deciding to land in a quite small spot. And then we had to use water because so close to the ground and in the city, not using sand. And then there was a bicycle team just below us, and we had to let water down, and they were so surprised why they are wet. And then they turned their head and all they said, "Wow, what for gulo?" We knew they were not happy, but we had to because we were really in the landing phase there. So it was also quite a short flight, but it was not less interesting flight.
Brilliant. What a great story. And you, Kurt, anything that springs to mind from back in the 90s, eh?
Yeah, for me, one of the biggest races were 2006 from Belgium to England and then over the North Sea to Norway and Sweden. This was a really, really nice flight over the Alps of Norway, and yeah, this was really good.
Amazing. Well, guys, preparations are ahead. I look forward to seeing you and the rest of the teams in Switzerland in not so long from now, just a few weeks.
Time is running, yeah.
Time is running. Thanks for joining me this morning. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye.